Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. You know, I'm supposed to be sleeping right now, but I'm staying up past my self-imposed bedtime because the market decided to go entirely freaking crazy tonight, and I am here for it. As you can see on your screen here, Bitcoin is above $122,000. Just hit another new all-time high. XRP, as of the time that I'm recording this video, hit as high as $2.96. And so there's broad expectation that this thing's going to light up in ridiculous fashion in very short order. So everything that I've been telling you in recent weeks about how historically, you know, we do have a very exciting price action in the fourth year of a market cycle in summer. Obviously that has happened. We don't have to question if it was going to happen. It has happened. It has absolutely happened. Normally summer price action is boring, except for in the fourth year of a crypto cycle. And that's what we're in right now. Same thing happened in 2021. Same thing happened in 2017. And so that's not surprising. You know what else isn't surprising? That Bitcoin is still perfectly correlated to M2, which has been surging recently. It's just that there's a roughly 12-week lead or 12-week lag for Bitcoin. It lags the M2 global M2 liquidity. And so that's why, like, Raoul Pal, former Goldman Sachs exec, he's the guy with over 1 million followers on X for good reason. He's one of the sharpest dudes in the space when it comes to chart analysis. And he's the founder of Real Vision. He has been he's really been beating his drum. So yes, of course, Bitcoin does lag global M2. But if it continues to correlate, he said if it does, he wasn't making a promise, but he said if it does, then Bitcoin would hit $140,000 in July. That's just what that means. So it doesn't mean for sure that price level is going to get hit. But, you know, there's typically very strong correlation here. And I think that a lot fewer people are going to be questioning it at this particular point. So anyway, lots to unpack. Look at how many tabs I got open here. I have so much to run through. Analysis from tons of chart analysts, including, I believe, 10 different XRP chart analysts. And almost everything that I'm going to share with you, almost everything, is from within the last several hours or so. So it's brand new, fresh stuff here. Everybody is posting at a time tonight. Like, I mean, this is a Sunday evening. Now we're going into Monday as I record this. This is a time where usually there aren't as many posts on X, but for good reason. There's a lot of posts on X. A lot of chart analysts chiming in here. For those that are curious, I'll note it is 2:14 a.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. So it is now Monday, early Monday morning, July 14th, 2025. Oh man, so much to go through. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And folks, you'll see by the time we're done with this video, so many analysts think that as it pertains to XRP specifically, you're going to be seeing a new all-time high. Some of them think this week, literally this week. And given how hot the market is right now and the strength that XRP is showing, I don't know if it'll happen. I'm not in the game of making predictions, but I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up coming to pass. All right, so as I record this, XRP now $2.94, Bitcoin right at $122,000. XRP, like I said, hit a 24-hour high of $2.96 just a bit before I recorded this video. It looks like, what, about an hour and a half ago, 12:45 a.m. Here's Bitcoin, and a 24-hour high of $122,235 as reported by Live Coin Watch here, but this thing isn't done. And you know, one of the cool things is, as we'll get into, Bitcoin's at this price level, we're not seeing top indicators. We are not seeing top indicators yet. It's more on that in just a second here. Let me do this in order here. Here's a post from chart analyst Bark as things are getting hot here. This is at 11:10 p.m. Sunday evening, so just a few hours ago. And he shared this post with his 221,000 followers on X. He says, "You have 6 months to get rich." The biggest crypto run we've ever seen. Don't waste it. And I will say there are tons of analysts, reputable analysts with great track records that believe this is going to be bigger than what happened in 2017. And if you know anything about 2017, you know that was the most insane rally in the history of crypto. Way more exciting than what happened in 2021, frankly. And this one, a lot of people, for tons of reasons, are speculating is actually going to be a lot bigger. Global liquidity is a piece of that, of course, here. And so we'll see how long the market cycle lasts. Could be a few months, maybe it's less than 6 months. But this is the time period regardless. Like, the part that resonates with me is like, this is the concept of this is that time period where if you're going to get rich, this is it. So don't mess it up because you got one shot until the next cycle several years from now. Here's another post from chart analyst Bark, and this one was from early in the morning on Sunday. He said, XRP is ready for a massive breakout. It's finally happening. And isn't it funny how he posts that, and then that evening the market goes nuts? And he's not the only one that said this. I actually shared this exact post in my very last video. I just wanted to highlight, because there are tons of examples of this from earlier on Sunday. And I shared a bunch of those examples in my last video before the market was getting hot when I recorded it. And whew, boy, were they correct. This is why I keep telling you guys, when good chart analysts with great track records come to the same or similar conclusions about what's most probable to occur, then that thing almost always happens. And here it is unfolding again, so you shouldn't be surprised. And yeah, I know, sometimes the improbable happens, and they all think it's going to happen, and then the improbable happens, but not usually. And so here, the probable has been happening. And it's going to get way, way, way more intense. I will not be surprised if we see double-digit price action for XRP. Here's a post from chart analyst Khalil, and he shared this with his 708,000 followers on X. He says, clean break above $120,000. The real bull market is finally here, fellas, and he posted that at 11:05 p.m. Central, so just a few hours ago. And so what you're going to see is that all of the analysts that are worth anything, they insist, they firmly believe, they have strong conviction, this isn't some fake out. This is the real deal. This is a very serious bull run, and this is the moment where it goes. That said, it doesn't mean it's going to go up perfectly in a straight line, but yes, fireworks ahead. There will be little pullbacks here and there, but yes, fireworks ahead. Here's a post from chart analyst Jelly, and this is at 12:36 a.m., so less than 2 hours ago. And he says, excuse me, Bitcoin broke out from the bullish flag and did not look back. $120,000 shattered and $130,000 within reach. Stick to your plan. So he also believes this is the real deal and going much higher. Here's a post from chart analyst Ali Martinez at 12:24 a.m. this morning, so just under 2 hours ago. It says Bitcoin open interest across all exchanges has surged to $40.2 billion, the highest level in a year. This is a sign of rising speculation and leverage in the market. And folks, this is what always comes in these moments of excitement leading into extreme euphoria. This is what you want to see. Everything is unfolding like you would want and hope it to. Hope that it would. Here's a Bitcoin dominance chart on TradingView. And this is the coolest damn thing. So it's at 64.76%. And before Bitcoin really started going within the last few days, yeah, it was around 65.5% roughly. It would go up, a little down. So yeah, it's trending down. And a lot of analysts do think that this is the beginning of a major fall in Bitcoin dominance, which would be great. Because as it goes down, the price of Bitcoin can still go up, of course. But that's when alt season starts. That's when you get an increased market dominance for the altcoins like XRP. So the cool thing here is that Bitcoin is already at the price level it's at. $122,000 is hit this evening. And the Bitcoin dominance, yeah, it looks like it's falling. I mean, it is right now. And presumably it's going to persist. We'll see. But the cool thing is we're at this price level before Bitcoin dominance completely tanks. So one would think, and there are lots of other metrics you can look at to come to reasonable conclusions, but even just based on this, one would think that Bitcoin could run way higher, given that the dominance has not bottomed out yet. It hasn't even nearly bottomed out. I can't remember where it bottomed out last market cycle, but for the 2017 bull run, I think it did. What did it bottom out, like 35, 39%? I think it was somewhere around there. I'm pulling from memory, so you can Google it if you want the right number, but it was somewhere around there. So point is, this thing has way, way, way lower to go, and the price can keep rising. I expect it would continue to trend upward, and while this thing's ultimately bottoming out. So this is just one thing you can look at to be like, doesn't look like we need to be concerned about the top being in. More on that in just a second. Here's a post from Chart Analyst World of Charts, and this is from 12:36 a.m., so less than 2 hours ago. It says, whole crypto market got massive bounce after this breakout. Well, that's for damn sure. Look at this. That's the entire crypto asset class. It's all moving here. This is the real deal, folks. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Cryptos. This is from 8 p.m. Sunday evening. Total crypto market cap, highest weekly close ever. Bull market in progress. No kidding. And then right after that, things went ballistic, and we're going into Monday. So I guess this is a rare instance where we do trust a Sunday pump. That usually is not the case. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Malleus. This is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And that's the name of that chart is Total 3. And so here he says, oh, and I'll note here first, actually, this is at 12:10 a.m. Central, so a little over 2 hours ago. He says, Total 3, already clearing final supply zone and following our more bullish path. Bear's final lifeline has vanished. So there you go, yet another analyst with a fantastic track record. I've only been following him for like the last several months or so, but I think the guy's sharp. Everything I've seen from him, it just makes logical sense. In-depth analysis, really thoughtful. And so it's one more analyst saying, yeah, this is the real deal. Here's a post from chart analyst Javon Marks. Altcoins, by dominance, look to be just beginning to respond to bull patterns, and that there can be much more upside coming. These alts could deliver a true bullish spectacle in this market, and we may be right at the forefront of it. Alt season 3.0. And he posted that this evening, 10:19 p.m., so just several hours ago. Another analyst that's thinking, yeah, this is probably something. And this is what I keep seeing. Here's a post from chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto. He says here, Ethereum huge run has started, and the Ethereum chart's on the bottom here. And I highlight that because Ethereum, for the last couple cycles, once it started going, that's what kicked off alt season. So if it's going to start running ballistically, and a lot of analysts think that it is, I'm just not focusing on Ethereum in this video, but I did want to mention it. If that indeed is correct, that's just more confluence for, history. It's history rhyming with itself, and you know what happens next. XRP melts faces. That's what happens. Here's a post from chart analyst Tony Severino. Now, this one was from July 11th, and I shared it in a previous video, but I just thought I'd highlight it again because, wouldn't you know it, and there are tons of analysts that were saying this at the time. XRP looks like it's about to go. So here he shared this XRP price chart, and he said, XRP above the weekly upper Bollinger Band suggests continuation. Yup, absolutely. That is absolutely correct. And did we get continuation? Well, we certainly have so far. Now, we do need to see it break through $3, but lots of analysts think that's going to happen. More on that in just a second here. Actually, maybe it's here. He might have said something about it. This is chart analyst Pentoshi, one of the more popular analysts in the entire crypto space, 871,000 followers on X. He shared this post about XRP, 7:53 p.m. Sunday, so about coming up in about a little over 6 hours ago. And he said XRP weekly close is in. $3 and all-time highs on deck, quite possibly this week. Do not see any reason to be bearish on this. Price discovery could even lead to $4 plus, but before we talk about that, let's see new all-time high first. So there you go. This is one of the more popular, established analysts out there with a great track record, who does believe that we really, truly could see an all-time high for XRP literally this week. And he's not an XRP guy, mind you. I don't know that he to my recollection, he's been pretty much neutral about it. He does not frequently talk about XRP, but when he does, it's because something's happening, and he knows something's happening here. He has looked at the chart and shared his honest thoughts here. It's going to go. Here's a post from chart analyst XR Punking, and this is from Sunday evening at 10:32 p.m., so just several hours ago. And he says, XRP is so bullish right now that it looks like it's going to break through the red resistance zone easily and retest the prior all-time high at $3.40 soon. And price discovery next. By the way, I wasn't joking when I said, in July we shall fly, back in late June. Yeah, and that post when he said that, in July we shall fly, I did share that in late June when he said that. And, you never know for sure if it's going to happen. And so I'm not pretending like I knew this, any of this for sure, but that's why I speak in probabilities, which is the right way to approach the market. You look at the past, and you can draw reasonable conclusions about what might happen in the future as a result of that, because history tends to rhyme with itself. And then you can look at what reputable chart analysts are saying. And if tons of them are saying the same thing, you can just be a regular Joe Schmo like me and kind of figure it out. Oh, so-and-so is more probable. Yeah, and continuation here, melting upward, that was the more probable thing here. And so I bought into the idea that it was absolutely possible. Didn't know if it was going to happen, but here we are. And the answer is yes. We don't have to question that anymore. It is happening. It's unfolding right now, quite literally. And so he thinks very soon, all-time high price action, $3.40. Here's a post from chart analyst CW, and this is a reason to not be fearful that the top is in. It is not in, folks. Here's what he wrote. He said, there is no indicator that shows a top signal in bull market peak indicators. It is still in the beginning stages, The bull market is just starting. Okay, well, I wouldn't characterize it like that, but that's more of like a semantics thing. We've been in a bull market technically for like years now. We've been trending up ever since the bottom in whenever it was, late 22 or early 2023, wherever the bottom was. And so we've been in the bull market, but I think what he means is like the final euphoric stage. I think that's what he's actually getting at. So it's a semantics thing. But I don't need to focus on that. Splitting hairs here. Look, the point is he's got a bunch of top indicators listed on the screen right here, and you don't need all of these, just to be clear. Like, you really don't. You can look at a handful of them, kind of figure out, is this about over? Like, you can look at the relative strength index, you know, like, are we into oversold territory? You can look at the NUPL, net unrealized profit loss. You can even just look at, even outside of the data, like, check social media. Is everybody going insane? Is it clear euphoria? What about the crypto fear and greed index? So, I mean, there's all sorts of ways that we can kind of figure this out. You know, dominance charts also, you know, there are a number of things that I'm going to be looking at. And as soon as there are a bunch of top indicators indicating, guys, if you don't get out soon, you're going to miss it and everything's going to crater. And then you're just going to have a much lower net worth. Like, when we get to that point, I'm going to be screaming about it. You do want to know about that. Trust me. And I know people are going to be yelling at me because nobody's going to want to hear it because we'll be in euphoria. And I just don't give a damn. I'm just going to say what's true. And if it's true that the top indicators are coming in, there we are. And I think that you should all want to know about that if it is indeed the case. And we will get there. But what I'm telling you is right now we're not there. It does not make sense to be fearful about hitting the peak. That is not imminent. There is much more room to the upside. And so now that we're already here, I'm sitting here thinking that it makes me wonder. Like, I'm not a price prediction guy, but I can't help but wonder, you know, I'm feeling like it's perhaps more likely that the guys that have been predicting $150,000 plus for Bitcoin seems more probable now, because look where we are now, $122,000, and we're not remotely overheated. The market's not remotely overheated. We haven't had mass retail jump in yet, and it's already this high. Well, I mean, fine. Look, if it peaks at 130, 135,000, fine. But the closer we get to it, and I see that we're not overheating, the more I'm like, maybe guys like Credible Crypto and the rest of them were all right, and they're all correct, and we are going to see above $150,000. We'll find out, folks, but what a hell of a time to be in crypto. Here's another post from CW. XRP has almost completely broken through the current sell wall. Excuse me. After that, there is only one sell wall left. And once that sell wall is broken, the real bull market begins. Okay, he posted this today, this morning, 12:56 a.m. So just over an hour and a half ago. And you can see what he's citing here if you're looking at the screen. That first sell wall, $3. So almost completely broken through it. And by the way, and I've talked about this in previous videos, that is quite the sell wall. I'm pulling from memory here, but I think one analyst cited that it was like $16 million worth of XRP, something like that. I think that's what it was. Or maybe it was 16 million XRP. Either way, the point is, whatever the number was, it was gigantic. And so you usually don't get through it on the first try. And we didn't. We did fall back down a little bit from there. But now we're banging back up against it. Eventually we're going to melt through this damn thing. We'll get right through that son of a bitch. It's going to happen. And then the next wall, the one that he says there's one wall left after that. That would be right, where I'm moving my mouse, at all-time high territory of $3.40. Now, when that happens, uncharted territory, my friends, that will be true price discovery. And that is what the hell we've been waiting for 7.5 freaking years now. We are almost there. It is coming. Here's a post from Whale Insider. This is freaking insane. Like I've been screaming this all year. XRP is showing ridiculous strength, and it hasn't stopped. Even as it was consolidating, it was showing greater strength than other coins. Because other coins, they weren't just moving sideways, like consolidating like XRP. They were moving down. Most altcoins moving down against the dollar. XRP moving sideways for almost this entire year after it hit the all-time high, consolidating above $2. So look at this from Whale Insider. And this is at 12:58 a.m., about an hour and a half ago. Just in, XRP surges to number 2 spot on Coinbase with $413 million in 24-hour trading volume, second only to Bitcoin. Folks, it's number 2 in volume on Coinbase. It's beating Ethereum. And you just wait, because I will not be the least bit surprised when XRP, I'm not going to predict it, but if XRP does take that number 2 spot, I will not be the least bit surprised, because there's historic precedent for that. And we know that XRP has been artificially suppressed for years. And we know that had the SEC not attacked, the price of XRP today, on this day, July 14, 2025, would be way higher right now than it is right now. It would be way higher if not for that, because and we would have had a full-blown alt season, a new all-time high in 2021 during that cycle. So it's playing catch-up. So it's not like XRP price is ruined forever, certainly not. But people had time to accumulate, so that's like, I guess, silver lining. But man, it's got room to catch up, and it's making up for lost ground. I believe it's absolutely possible that it can start battling that for that number 2 spot in market cap against ETH. I absolutely think that's possible. Here's a post from Charting Guy. This is from Sunday at 5:09 p.m. Central. He said, XRP held, now bouncing off weekly super trend. Chart never flipped bearish, while many others did. So, and he's right. That's exactly in line with what I was saying a minute ago. XRP consolidated for most of this year, while other coins were actually falling against the dollar. But not XRP. It showed strength at a time when others showed weakness. How about that? Here's another post from Charting Guy, 5:34 p.m. Sunday, July 13th. 5:34 p.m. XRP Wyckoff reaccumulation. Like, look at this. So he thinks we're at the LPS, last point of support here, before ultimately jumping up here to the sign of strength. And beyond that, it just gets completely ridiculous. Like, it'll just go ham. So this is the chart formation that he believes is playing out here. He believes it's just Wyckoff reaccumulation here, he cites. And you can see that he's pointing out right here, and that's where it matches up on the schematic. Look at what's next. Like, so it's not all going to happen in one day, but I mean, in the next several weeks, if he's right about this, like, it's going to be insane for XRP. Here's another one from Charting Guy. XRP monthly relative strength index repeating 2017. Well, isn't that something? And so you know how I told you that XRP has 2 major bursts each cycle that happened last cycle, even though we didn't hit a new all-time high, and it happened the cycle before that. Well, he's comparing it to 2 cycles ago, 2017. And you can see that the relative strength index here, when it had its first major jump in the first half of 2017, the relative strength index jumping into, so it got into overbought territory, heavily overbought territory. Then it cratered down, consolidated sideways for half a year, and then it jumped back up for that second push, and RSI got really hot. Same thing's unfolding right now. RSI got really hot at the end of 2024, going into January this year. Then it cratered back down. We've moved sideways for about half a year. What happens next? Up. That's the answer, up. We want to see this. We want to see the relative strength index get into overbought territory, and it's coming, damn it. It is coming. That's going to be the point of maximal opportunity. We want it to get to oversold territory. And by the way, once it reaches oversold territory, it can stay there and increase to get even more oversold for some period of time. It could be over a span of weeks, or, I mean, we'll see what it ends up being, but it could be a notable time. It has been historically, actually. In the past, it certainly has been. That's where we're at right now. History rhymes with itself. It just does. And so it's looking just like 2 cycles ago, which was the biggest run for XRP in history. And now it's playing out in similar fashion. How could you not be excited if you're an XRP holder right now? Is that even possible? Here's a post from Crypto Wizard, Sunday evening, 9:08 p.m. Central Time. XRP closed bullish and is now trading above the $2.80 resistance. One more bullish daily close will trigger a rally and a new all-time high for XRP. So he also thinks that it could happen in short order, perhaps even this week. There's no guarantee it's going to happen this week, but it could. That's the world we're living in. I don't normally say stuff like that, but I will when we're in a time period where it makes sense to say something like that. And that's where the hell we are right now. Here's a post from chart analyst Dan Gambardello. I shared this with his 296,000 followers. It was a video, and so I did check this out. And not going to regurgitate like a bunch of TA stuff to you, but I just wanted to note that he is yet another analyst that is like, yeah, this thing, it's the real deal and it's about to go. In a nutshell, that's the sentiment that he had in this video. It's going to go blasty blast, folks. That is what's next. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK, and this is from the afternoon on Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Central. He says, XRP dominance looking fantastic here. Well, Albie, I talked about dominance in my very last video before the market got really, really hot this evening. And there's so many things you can look at to recognize that we were about to do something ridiculous. And I know it's mostly like Bitcoin that's causing the excitement now, but XRP, it's still bumping up against $3 again? That's not nothing. That's definitely something. Who knows what the price is by the time you're watching this. There's always a chance that it's lower. And then you got to, move sideways a little bit and then go for another major move to the upside. But given the strength we're seeing here, I wouldn't be surprised if the price is to some degree higher than where it is right now by the time you're watching this. But who knows? You guys are future people. I don't know. We're going to see, though. This is the most exciting time there's ever been to be a human, to live through all this stuff. This is just wild. So he said that was looking fantastic. And there's a post from chart analyst Mancy. Now, this analyst I'm not familiar with, but I just thought I'd share an example. And there are so many examples. I was just going through my feed. I just picked this one out at random because I can't find negative analysts. I can't find negative analysts talking about XRP. They don't exist. As far as I can tell, if you can find one, then show me, and I may highlight it on the channel, As long as it's not somebody that's got some track record, multi-year history of hating XRP, unless I'm going to make a video where I'm just making fun of them, because that's always fun too, actually. But here's a post. The first one's from May 26th, actually. And he said, something about history doesn't repeat, but it certainly does rhyme. And that's what I always say, so that resonated with me. He said, the odds of Rippolino breaking a 7-year consolidation only to find a top at 2017 highs are comically small. Not ready yet, but once Bitcoin goes in no prisoners mode, XRP will again be the first to follow. Spot on. That is exactly what I've been saying. What do you think the odds are? Seriously, we consolidated for the better part of a decade, and for XRP to just briefly hit a new all-time high, and then XRP's like, thanks guys, that was fun, and that's enough. See you next bull run. I don't think so, bitch. I don't think so, damn it. Absolutely not. Things are going to go ballistic, and XRP's absolutely going along for the ride. And I expect it to be the top performer out of the top 100 coins by market cap, or close to the top. I don't think this strength's going to slow down. It's been showing crazy strength ever since the election. And so anyway, so that was the post from May 26th. He provided this update at 1:32 a.m. So it's now been, just over an hour ago he posted this. And he said, XRP with a 2-week and 3-week support resistance flip, send it to $12 plus. Not crazy, folks. Double-digit price action for XRP. Don't know if it will happen. Won't surprise me. Is not crazy. Safely within the confines of reality. And oh my God, it's running higher. Okay, so Bitcoin hit a new all-time high while I was recording. $122,410. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. XRP now at $2.96. So that's its 24-hour high here. Oh man. Woo, boy. I'm supposed to sleep after this. How am I supposed to sleep? We're in no sleep season. That's the problem. I think we're in no sleep season. And now, see, we have to be, because here, my dumb ass is up past my bedtime, my self-imposed bedtime. I'm a dictator towards myself. Supposed to be getting my beauty sleep here. And instead, I'm recording a hot jam for all of you fine people. But I guess that's just part of no sleep season, right? Happy to do it, though. I'm having too much fun here, guys. And I hope you are, too. This is the part where we actually finally get our life-changing wealth. We've waited so long. We've been through so much. But here we are. This is the moment. It is at hand. It is so obviously at hand. It's running higher. Bitcoin, $122,525. This is a cool way to end the video, though. I don't know if I can sleep. I'm going to shut up, though, and stop the video and make the thumbnail. And hopefully I can get this up within the next hour or two. I'll get it published as quickly as I can. I got to do a thumbnail, get it uploaded and stuff. But it's going higher. $122,641. It's just new all-time highs as I record here, folks. July 14th, 2025. You got to love it. It's now 2:40 a.m. Central. Oh, what a freaking trip, man. All right. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with you. You make this whole journey way more fun than it could possibly be if I were just by my lonesome. And I really do appreciate all the support that I've been getting on the channel here. I'm always humbled by it. I really do very genuinely appreciate it. So thanks for hanging out with me. But I'll stop yapping. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.